Hello friends, welcome to another session with Miss Ness, and today we are going to have a little bit of maths. So we're going to be working with numbers, and finally you get to use your exciting die, the one that you made for yourself. Yippee! Hooray! I hope you all got one. So quickly I'm going to tell you what you need for today, and then you can pause the video and gather the things that you need. You will need your die if you made one. If you didn't make one, don't worry, it doesn't matter. You can just choose the numbers as you want, or even you can just use the numbers that I'm choosing, so you don't need any of it. If you got it, do have it. You need a pen or pencil or any writing instrument and a piece of paper. And remember, you can just write on the back of a cereal box if you like, or any recycled paper that your grown-ups will let you use. I also have a little bowl of dry pasta. Once again, this is not something that you need, but today we are going to be choosing numbers for the challenges that we are setting for ourselves in two different ways. And one way of choosing the numbers will be to use the die, and the other way will be to have some pasta to count. Once again, you don't need this. I'm going to use it, and I'm going to show you a way of just adding a bit of fun into your maths practicing, but you don't need it. You can just look at the numbers that I'm going to make. Now, before we start, we're going to warm up our brains, get ready for our maths. So I'm going to give you a little number riddle. Are you ready? I want you to guess the number that I'm thinking of. The number that I'm thinking of has 2 digits, so it's a 2-digit number. Your second clue is that it's in the 10 times table. And your third clue is that the number that I'm thinking of is 20 less than 30. So it's got 2 digits. It's in a 10 times table. And it's 20 less than 30. Have you got the number? Have a good think. And many of you will already have the number in your head. If you don't, just pause the video, figure it out, have a think about the 3 clues that I gave you, and then you can start it again to find out the answer. And to find out the answer, I've got my special little bag here, and inside the bag I've got the number of sticks hidden that I will need to show you what my number was. So my number is, count with me to find out if you were correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you got 10 with your calculations, fantastic, well done, great job. And if you didn't even have to pause the video to figure that out, well done, you are doing very well with your mental maths. So that was our quick warm-up, and now I'm going to start with the challenges that we are doing today. We're going to look at some repeated addition. So if you remember doing some repeated addition in school, you will know that for a repeated addition number sentence you need 2 numbers, well, 1 number to begin with, and then you might want to choose a second number to decide how many times you're going to repeat your addition with your first number. So let's put that into practice. Let's use the die to choose my first number. I don't actually need the paper and the pen, that's just what you are going to be writing on, but I will be writing on the board. So choose a die, use the die to choose your first number. You can just do this with me, or you can start doing your own number sentences and throw your own die. If you just want to do the first few with me, that's absolutely fine. Now, the first number I got is number 1, but you know what? It's a little bit tricky to do a repeated addition number sentence and to show you how it works with 1. So I'm actually going to throw it again to choose another number. And this time I've got 2. Excellent, that's perfect. So I'm going to choose the number, use the number 2 for my repeated addition number sentences. And to decide how many times I'm going to repeat the number 2, I'm going to use the pasta. So Without looking, I'm going to put my hand into the pasta ball and I'm going to pull out a few pasta pieces and I'm going to put them on the table and see how many I've got. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. That's a brilliant number for a repeated addition number sentence. So I'm going to repeat the number 2 5 times because that's how many dry pasta pieces I picked up. So 2, it's an addition, so you know that your sign for your number sentence will be an addition 2, and another 2, and another 2, and another 2. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, but my pasta says 5, so 1 more, and equals. And it's very good that we've got 2 from our die, because we're very good at counting in 2s, aren't we? So it's very quick to find the answer. Let's go. We just have to count in 2s, don't we? Start on the first one and go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the answer to your repeated number sentence is 10. However, because if you are in year 2, you're very quickly probably already shouting and saying that I can turn this into a multiplication. Yes, you can. And if you're watching from year 1, don't worry, this is very easy, so you probably can pick it up. And when you're in school next year, you will already know it. How amazing is that? Let's have a look. So you take your first number, which was 2. Actually, I might use a different colour for this one, just to show you that we first wrote our repeated addition number sentence, and now we're going to turn it into a multiplication number sentence. We take the number that we had to begin with, and instead of an addition, because we're turning it into a multiplication, we're going to use a multiply sign. So that's the same as times, isn't it? Times, 2 times, and then you're going to have a look at how many times did you repeat 2. Remember, we already know it because our pasta tells us that we repeated it 5 times, but just count it just in case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 times 5, because I took 2 5 times, equals, do you need to have a think about the answer again? No, it's going to be the same as what is in your repeated addition number sentence. This is a very quick way of turning your repeated addition number sentence into a multiplication. We were very lucky with our numbers this time because 2 and 5 are both very easy to count with. Shall we see if we can do another one? I put the pasta back in. Maybe this time I wipe this off, and maybe this time we're going to choose our first number, the number that we are going to repeat by using the pasta. So we're going to turn around our resources. So here is my pasta, and just very quickly I'm going to show you one more quick trick. You might want to, when you're putting dry pasta in your bowl or in your box or whatever you want to use, you might want to do a big amount, but don't, because then you don't actually need a big amount. I counted out. Should we count them together? Let's see how many have I got. I intentionally was quiet on that one because I wanted you to count on your own, and if you counted 20, well done, that was 20 pieces of pasta. So you just need 20, or even 15 will be fine. And just make sure that you don't pick up all of them, because then you're going to have a massively long repeated addition number sentence. So let's turn our resources around, and this time I'm going to choose the first number by taking a few pasta pieces, and I'm not going to look. I'm just put my hand in the bowl, and let's see, how many did I get this time? Got 1, 2, 3, 4. In fact, if I put them this way, then you can see them. 5, 6, 7. I picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pasta pieces. So my first number is 7. The number we are repeating is 7. We are doing an addition, a repeated addition. So I already know that the sign in my number sentence will be to add. How many times would the die like me to repeat the number 7? Let's have a look. 4. Let's repeat the number 7 4 times. I just lost my lid. 7, add 7, that's 2, add 7, that's 1, 2, 3 times 7, and one more 7 because the die told us to repeat the 7 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's all we need. Now 7 is a little bit harder to count in, isn't it? We are very good at counting in 2s and 5s and 10s, and you're probably very good at counting in 3s by now and 4s as well. 7 is a bit more tricky. So I would say if you're very good with your mental maths, just go for it and count in your 7s and see what the answer is that you're going to get. You can even pause the video now, count in your 7s, find the answer before I tell you the answer. Otherwise, I'm going to show you a quick way of doing counting in larger numbers. Okay, so what you can do first is take the first 2 and just double them. And we know double 7 is 14. And you can either put that number in your head or write it down underneath, and then you will know it, you will remember it. Then take the second 2. And we already know that's also 14 because double 7 is 14. And then just add the 2 14s together. Add the 2 14s together. That's 2 10s will make 20. And 2 4s will make 8. Or you can count in your 7s. 7 add 7 is 14. 14 add 7 is 21. 21 add 7 is 28. So we were correct. It's always a good job to check it in different ways whether your answer was correct in the first place. There we go. I'm just going to wipe that off because now we're going to turn this repeated addition number sentence into a multiplication. I already know that the number, hang on a second, just lost the lid off my pen, that the number that I'm going to, the number sentence that I'm going to write is going to be a multiplication number sentence. So I could put that times sign there already. And the number I'm repeating is 7. So it will be 7 times, how many times have I repeated it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I took 7 4 times. 7 times 4, or 7 multiplied by 4 equals, and I don't need to do that again because I've just done it with a repeated addition, and I know that was 28. Shall we do one more this way, and then maybe we could do one the other way around very quickly. Here we go. So let's get die, give us a nice number. Oh, 6. We're going to repeat the number 6. I wonder how many times are we going to repeat the number 6? Put pasta back, good stir, put my hand in without looking. I will kick 1, 2, 3. Let's repeat the number 6 3 times. For my repeated addition number sentence, 6 add 6 add 6 equals, counting in 6 is quite easy, so shall we try and do it like that? 6 add 6 is 12, add 6 is 18. So I think my answer is 18, but remember it's always good to check in a different way if you were correct. So we could maybe do with a different colour so you can see it better. You could maybe do double 6, which you know is, double 6 is 12. And then add on the last 6, 12 add 6 is 18. So we were correct, hooray, well done. Now we're going to turn this into a multiplication. You can take the number 6, time it by, how many times have we taken 6? 1, 2, 3. So 6 times 3 equals 18. That was quick, wasn't it? Now, if you want, you don't have to use 2 different things to choose your numbers. You can just use the die twice. So you could use the number 5 for your repeated addition number sentence. Use the number 5 and add it how many times? Oh, twice. This is a very easy repeated addition number sentence. 5 at 5, counting your 5s, 5, 10. There we go. Okay, now I'm just very quickly going to turn that multiplication into a repeated addition, so we do it the other way around, just in case you get, look at this, here is, let's go for, I don't know, 4 times 8. Here is a times a multiplication number sentence, and let's say that you're finding this a bit tricky and you're not sure how to do this one. What can you do? There are many different ways of doing it. You could do drawings, you can do 4 bags of 8. That's one way of doing it. 4 bags of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 bags of 8. Or you could just use the repeated addition that we have learned, because we know that you can turn a repeated addition into multiplication, so you can turn a multiplication into a repeated addition, couldn't we? Shall we do that? So we could take 8, because it's easier to take the bigger number. Take 8. How many times? 4 times. So 8 and 8 and 8 and 8. There you go. We turned our multiplication, which might be a bit tricky to figure out in your head, into a repeated addition, which is much, much easier to figure out in your head, and you don't have to do any drawing at all. So we do double 8 and double 8 again. We know that double 8 is 16. So that double 8 will also be 16. Now add those two numbers together. You can do it from the back as well. 6 add 6 is 12. Remember to make note of that 10. One 10 and another 10 is 2 10s, but we already had a 10 there, so that will be 32. Now shall we see if we can count in 8 and check if we were correct? 8 add 8 is 16. Add another 8 to 16 is 24. Add another 8 to 16 is 32. So we were correct. And guess what? You now have the answer to your 4 times 8 multiplication number sentence. 4 times 8 equals 32. And then you could draw the drawing and check if you were correct by counting the little dots. Now, that was just a quick way of recapping on our repeated addition and having a bit of fun with repeated addition and multiplication. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it reminded you of how to do repeated addition and multiplication, and I hope to see you again for another session. Keep doing some number sentences. Do another 15 minutes. Go on, go and write some more number sentences. Maybe you could go outside and write them in the soil if you've got a garden, or you could try and put some flour on the table and write your repeated addition number sentences on the table in flour, just like we tried once in school, if you remember. Okay, well, it's been lovely to have you again, even though I can't see you. I know you are there. See you soon for another session with Miss Ness. Bye.